Hi everyone, I'm John Wright, the Education Director at Media Write Workshops. Welcome. In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to use actions to improve your workflow. In part 1, you'll learn how to create an action. And in part 2, I'll show you how to apply that action to a batch of files. Regardless of which version of Photoshop you are using, you should find this tutorial very helpful. I'm using a PC for this tutorial. When I reference the Control key, Mac users should use the Command key. For the Alt key on the PC, Mac users should use the Option key. And don't forget, this is a video. You can stop and replay anytime if I'm getting ahead of you. In this tutorial, we're going to explore the Actions panel and use the Text tool. Nothing too complicated. So let's get started. So we've talked about some pretty simple solutions to improving your workflow. Anytime you have a repetitive series of tasks, you should strongly consider using actions to speed things up. One of the big bonuses in using actions is that you can apply the action to multiple files at the same time. That's called batching. So for example, we want to place the banner for the hospital luncheon onto an entire collection of photographs. It's very important that your action have a save command included in it to work in batches. In our case, we have one created, but I want to make sure it is included. So I'm going to go up to the luncheon action, hospital volunteer action. I'm going to take a look at all the steps and make sure they're all included. And remember that little red arrow there told me they are not all included. I notice that the save is not included and the close is not included, so now they are included. That arrow is turned to black. Okay, so this is now ready to use in a batch command. So the next step that we're going to do is we are going to go to File, Automate, and Batch. So File, Automate, Batch. So at the top here, what we want to do is pick the set and the action that we're going to use. So the set is already there at Webinar. You can see we could have picked from any of the sets. We're going to pick our action. We're not going to use the soften skin action. We're going to use the hospital volunteer action. And then we're going to go find the folder where all those images are. So we're going to go to choose the folder. It is indeed the hospital folder. I'm going to click there to click OK. And then we got several different check boxes here. The only one that's really relevant to this is we may want to include subfolders. There are no subfolders, but keep that in mind if you've got several folders deep in a particular folder that you want to include in an action. The source can also be from open files in Photoshop, and also files in Bridge, or you could import files from an external source to run the batch on, such as a camera. Then we want to choose where we're going to send these files after we've processed them. So in this case, we're going to send them to a folder. Again, we have some options there, but in this case, we're going to choose a folder. I'm going to go to Choose. I'm going to find a folder to send them to. In this case, I'm going to pick the Hospital Volunteer Final folder. Okay. Going to select that, and I'm also going to check the override save as commands. It's just kind of a rule of thumb for me. I always have that checked. There is an opportunity to rename the file here if you want to. In this particular case, I'm not going to do that. So I have it all picked. In the folder that we're going to process, there's only about 11 images, but this will give you an idea how quickly it will run through those images. So I'm going to click OK, and here we go. As you can see, it's just kind of cranking through these images here. There's actually 11 of them. And you won't actually, it's designed to go very quickly. You won't actually see it apply the text. But here it goes, just running right through these. Now that took about 22 seconds to go through all of those, okay? So let's go to Bridge, see if we can find those in Bridge. Here they are in a hospital volunteer final. There's all our images, and notice that the text is at the bottom of the images. That's pretty cool. So see how you can do a lot of work in a very short period of time using Photoshop actions. Thanks again for watching. My online tutorials are a great way to learn. However, there's a lot of things that I simply don't have time to